Welcome back to the Milwaukee Show, and today we are talking about and discussing the first game of the PWHL, the Professional Women's Hockey League. It is just started yesterday. Second game's happening today in just a couple hours from now. I'm excited to watch that one. And the first game was interesting. Now, before I break down the presentation and everything of the game and what I think about it, I really want this league to succeed. I want this to be a successful organization that can go on for years and we can have more hockey to watch. And even though people all the time are trying to ask for less NHL games, and I think it shouldn't be 82 seasons, they want less hockey for some reason, I think that's absolutely absurd. I think there should be more hockey, and the women's hockey is fun to watch. When I watch it in the Olympics, because I'll be honest, I've never really watched whatever the name of the former league was. I saw a few games when I would notice it on TV and I put it on. It was fun to watch. But during the Olympics games, when I would watch them play, the girls they can go. They have all the skill, they have all the speed in the world, and it's fun to watch them actually go toe to toe. And it's a different kind of hockey, because then, well, I'll get to one of the benefits of this league now, later. But without the hitting and stuff in the international games, they're fun to watch because the girls can skate, they can go, and they can play skilled, and it's just it's like skilled all-star hockey. And they have the skill. They have the capabilities of putting on these great performances on the ice and give some great scoring games and all the goodness that comes with hockey. And I want there to be more of that. And this new league to cheer for and see it grow and develop. I want to see that happen. But I will be completely honest. I don't think it is going to get very far, because this organization has done nothing good to get that going for them. They've the advertisement, the PR to get this league underway. I bet most people didn't have a freaking clue that the league either A, was happening anytime soon, B, is really an official thing. I think for most people, they probably think oh, I heard about that, but I don't know anything about it. I don't think it, at this point, I'm sure people have seen videos and articles because it came out, but 2 days ago on New Year's Eve, I bet nobody had any idea that this league was about to start yesterday, and I think it's horrible. And another thing going into this is I follow hockey. I follow hockey a lot. I have a whole channel about it I've been running, and you're watching this on. I love hockey. And for me, I've paid attention to women's hockey. I know who some of the big hitters are, right? But I don't know everybody by any means. I'd probably know about 10% of the league, and especially on these two teams, once you get past some of the names on the ice, I'm I cannot tell you who these people are. And this is the job of the league and the commentators to tell us who these people are, who we should be looking for, and who's going to be a good team. Because off the bat, I would assume that Toronto would be a good team. I know some more names on that team. I only knew one name going into it on the New York team. And, with the Toronto, I'd be they've got the better team. I know Sarah Nurse, I know Spooner, I know, I'm blanking on the stupid names now. I look like an idiot, but whatever. I promise you, I knew more of the names. I don't know the rosters that well yet because the league just started. But going into it, I didn't know much to expect about this league, right? I didn't know about these teams. And they have done such a poor job of not advertising, but presenting this league to people and getting people to know who to cheer for. And the biggest thing is, if you go to the PWHL channel on YouTube, which is where I watch the stream from, and 14,000 people with me at the time were doing, they only have 5 or they don't have any videos really on there telling us who these people are. What I think they should have done before any of this league started is put on their page, put on their channel, and have some interviews with some of these players and show us off. Do you since there's only 6 teams in the league and there's only so many players and only so many superstars in the league, show us who the superstars are. Show us off Sarah Nurse. Show us off Spooner. Show us off any of them, right? Show us who the best players of this league are, and that we can be oh, I kind of like her, and oh, I like her too. They're on the same team. I like them. And then they can actually start building some sort of a fan base. But they've done nothing to spread awareness to other people and everybody to know who they want to cheer for, other than just like the cities that they might like. So already going into it, I think it sucked. And going into this game, the presentation right off the bat from the pregame stuff, I think was horrible. The presentation all around was bad. Not like the filming and stuff. I think the camera work was nothing special. Just said pretty good. Thumbs up to that. Camera work was fine. Coverage was fine. But the actual, like, the girls at the table before the game started were not very interesting. The blonde girl, I don't remember her name, but I think she was trying to be funny, and she kept trying. She made a couple weird comments about, what was the one? She said something about that they're like she was describing that New York is a stress-free team or something like that. But then she, like, I don't know, it was a weird statement. She wasn't interesting, and all the girls at that table didn't do much. But the biggest thing that annoyed the absolute hell out of me is that all they could focus on for most of this whole game, almost, but especially at the beginning, going into this game, getting excited for the first true, like, professional women's hockey league. I know that's the name of the thing, but that's just also the best way to describe this league, is all they can focus on is Billie Jean King. I do not care about this old tennis player. I get she's done stuff, but I don't care about any of that. I want to watch hockey. This is the big deal going into this game, is hockey. Could you imagine that like, if the NHL started imagine like the XFL, right? Imagine, someone made a more hardcore hockey league, right? It was called the ZHL, and it was the Super Hockey League. I don't know, whatever, right? Something crazy, and it was Vince McMahon started the XFL. Let's say Dana White started the ZHL, and the Super Hockey League, and spelled with a Z. And instead of hyping up like some of the teams being like, oh, you gotta look out for the pit monsters. They've got the 6'8" guys that are sumo wrestlers. They're just gonna go out there and kill. They didn't do any of that. They didn't tell us anything about these teams, like, oh, we got to look out for these stars. I didn't even realize that JT Comfort's sister was on one of the teams, right? They didn't tell us anything about the teams. They just focused on Dana White's, a.k.a. Billie Jean King, the whole time. And even going into the intermission of the first period, they were still talking about her. She was even the one that dropped the puck, for God's sakes. She just was the center of the attention. I wanted to know about hockey. I want to know who's good. I personally had no idea that the Schroeder goaltender was going to be was the Vasilevsky of women. And here she is, incredible. But they didn't mind telling us anything about her, if she's good if she's good, how old she is, to know if, like, she's around for a while or this is towards, like, the end of her career. Like, they didn't tell us anything about anybody, and instead it was all about Billie Jean King, and that goes into the rest of it, which is they didn't tell us anything about the players at all, at freaking all. The first goal ever scored by Ella Shelton, the first professional women's hockey league goal scored ever, is scored by Ella Shelton. Remember that. Who scored Seattle? I know who it is. Do you know who it is? Put it down below. If you, the first person who says who it was, if you care, if you've made it this far, you get a really good thumbs up. But anyways, Ella Shelton scores the first goal, right? I was excited. Great goal right off the face-off, into the back of the net. It was a great goal, and I jumped up and I was like, there it is! And I was like, who is she? Like, Ella Shelton, is she like the Erik Karlsson? Because I think she's a defenseman. I was like, is she like the Erik Karlsson or Makar of defensemen? She's just got like a hell of a shot or something? Like, what's the deal with her? They didn't mind telling us anything. We go to an intermission. Intermission, they have a 10-second interview with her, and we don't get anything about her. Like, you know, in the NHL, how sometimes they'll just be randomly talking. They'll be like, they'll be like Ryan Hartman moves in the puck, dumps it down the zone, and then the color commentary will be like spent 4 years at the high school of St. Bernard, and then he went on to fill in his dad's shoes playing for the same junior team as his, where he crushed a couple years down there, getting drafted, and they're like, oh yeah, that's right, I saw him a couple times against my team, and they'll tell us like a little inkling about them. Ella Shelton, who the hell knows anything about her? They didn't mind telling us, and that was bad. Also, the intro to Toronto was horrendous. That freaking, it's like they wanted to do everything possible for us not to know who these players were. The intros, right? Imagine like the NHL's intros when they have the players come out for the first time of the season. They don't have a flashing, blinking light. They want you to see these guys' faces come on the ice. When Mark Stone steps on the ice for the first time for the Vegas Golden Knights, they want you to see from the rafters, like, there he is, that's the crazy maniac-looking guy, he's our captain. That's what you want out there, not just this freaking light that you can't see anything, and then they fade into black where you can't see anything at all. It was so stupid. It's like they didn't want you to know anything about these girls at all. It was nuts. I don't get it. And the commentators were just awful. And I just don't get it. I don't get it. There are good girl commentators out there, but hockey cannot find them. For one, I like wrestling. One of my favorite commentators slash just kind of personalities is Renee Paquette, or Renee Young, whatever you want to call her. She's fantastic. If she could be the commentator of this, that'd be fine. But hockey cannot find a good one. Leah Hextall, dear God. Emma Claplin. Oh my God. Like, and whoever these girls were, like, just no energy, no anything being pumped into the game, just telling us the story, and it goes down the ice, into the corner, around the boards, up to the top, a shot on net. Like, there's nothing special. Like, when the one time with the Toronto player, like, just decked, like, Schroeder in the back of the head, it was just like, whoa! And she was just like, and the puck is being clustered, and blah, 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 and it was like, get excited! Like the... Just something. The commentators were horrendous. Just hockey cannot find good. I mean, but that kind of goes for everyone. Like, I'd say even like right now we're at a very low point for commentators. I think a lot of the guy commentators suck as well. We are far from the day. I mean, I still love the guys like for Boston and other teams. Can't think of right now, like Randy On for the Sharks. But we are at a low point when it comes to commentators. But anyways, that sucked. But the pros, I know, we're 12 minutes into this video, and I'm finally going to say something good about this game. The game was fun to watch. I enjoyed the game. It was very defensive, the physicality of the game really slowed this one down. These two teams, I don't know if it's just like new chemistry, because these teams are very new, and they haven't really like gotten the lines and chemistry together right, but the game felt very slow, and I know they're just not as fast. I mean, at one point you saw like Sarah Nurse at the top of the blue line make that like kind of play that Cale Makar would make, where they like kind of move in, like shuffle back, and she was just like half the speed or slow-mo of like Cale Makar doing that same thing. But even regardless, like the game felt slow, and like they didn't really get things going. But when they did, when things started moving, it was fun to watch. But for most of the game, it was kind of slow, but still fun to see. The goals were fun. The goals were good to see. And really, the spectacle of the show to me was Schroeder. And I know I'm not saying anything groundbreaking there, but she was on fire. The few times Toronto, who was not very good, actually was able to get anything to the net, she was so cool to watch. Her saves were fantastic. The breakaway saves she would make, the one backdoor in the beginning was fantastic, and then the Toronto was getting angry. They literally like pounded her to the ground. She was fantastic. She's currently, I mean, only one game of the season, but she has the MVP trophy already. And I'm not saying anything crazy there, but that's what I'm going to say. I'm going to probably watch most of the games, so I'll have a tracker of that. And the hitting was fun. I will say, like, it wasn't like crazy. Like, I feel like people are kind of freaking out about it a little bit too much, that are like, being like, whoa, the girls can hit. Like, the hitting was fine. Like, there was one really solid hit. I think it was a New York player who really stood up in the neutral zone, a Toronto player. I don't know who the hell the players were, but I remember like it was like one of those plays where the puck is like there and they went in, like both of them went for it, and then she just like boom, like that was the good hit of the game. But other than that, like there was good hits, but just it wasn't people. They're like losing their minds over. Everybody lose their mind over the fact that they're allowed to hit, and I think that's fine. Oh, and the rule that didn't come into play, but if you score on the penalty kill, if you score shorthanded, it ends the power play. That's a rule I think the NHL should have too. I think that's fantastic. If you score a goal on the penalty kill, that should be an immediate off. I really like that rule. They should implement that in the NHL. I don't think they ever will, but I really think they should. That is a fantastic rule. But overall, the game was fun to watch. 4-0 win for New York. And it was fun. It was a fun game to watch once you got past all of the annoying things. And I want this to succeed. I think this is, especially if you keep the season short. I like it being, what's it go to, like March or something? The teams only play 24 games. And I think having it short and tight and condensed, I think it can be even shorter. And I know I just said earlier, like, I like it. I was complaining about people complain about the 82 season for the NHL, but because this is such a new league, and I feel like they should really get things like going, and you want to really cheer for these teams, I think I mean, 24 games is much more than 16, so never mind, forget what I was going to say. I think the 24 games is fun, and I hope it succeeds. I hope it goes well, and I hope this league can actually grow, but so far, I'm not liking the moves that they make, and they need to do better. They need to do better, or they're just going to flounder and just not be anything and eventually fold over. But anyways, first game was fun to watch. I'm glad I watched it. And tonight, in a couple hours from now, an hour and 45 minutes, game 2 of the season will be on between Montreal and Ottawa, I think. And I will be watching that one, and I'll probably talk about it again just because it's an easy thing to talk about. So anyways, that's all I've got to say. So thank you if you've somehow made it this far. I'm begging you, please pick up your free subscription down below. And until next time, too sweet, have an amazing day, and ta-ta for now.